We're right at a month into the MLB offseason, and Mariners fans are trying to figure out what the Seattle Mariners' next move is going to be. So far, there hasn't been too much to be excited about, at least in a positive way, as they traded away Eugenio Suarez, traded for Luis Urias, and clearly there's still some holes to fill. But one thing to be excited about is that Ty France has checked into Driveline Baseball, and he's officially started his offseason work. Why does this matter? Well, we saw the results from JP Crawford last season as he put in the work at Driveline Baseball the prior offseason. Through his training, JP was able to triple the amount of home runs he had hit from the prior season, while setting a career high in walks, raising his batting average 23 points from the year before, and increasing his OPS plus by 31%. He was 31% better than the average hitter in baseball last year. Clearly with JP's training, it translated to more power. Although with Ty, I think they're focusing on something a bit different. But more than just the fact that Ty France is training at Driveline Baseball now, when it comes down to it, he is a pure hitter. Dating back to his career in high school, college, the minor leagues, up until he was injured in 2022, he's been a pure hitter. In his final minor league season in AAA El Paso, he batted .399 with a .477 on-base percentage, a .770 slug, which was an OPS of 1.247. In his first full season in the major leagues, which happened to be the COVID-shortened season, between playing with the Padres and the Mariners, he batted .305 with a .368 on-base percentage, a .468 slug, which is an .836 OPS. His OPS plus in 2020 was 133, meaning that his bat was 33% above the average hitter. In his first full-length season with the Mariners in 2021, in 152 games played, 650 plate appearances, he batted .291 with a .368 on base, a .445 slug, which is an .813 OPS. In 2021, his OPS plus was 128, so he was 28% better than the average hitter. And then in 2022, it was really a tale of two halves. In the first half, he absolutely raked. He would be selected to his first All-Star game, and up through his injury on June 22nd, he was batting .319 with a .393 on-base percentage, a .480 slug, which is an .873 OPS. He had a 6.5% walk rate, a 13.9% strikeout rate. He had a 157 weighted runs created plus. So at the time, his bat was 57% above league average. He was setting career numbers up to that point. Then in a game against the Oakland Athletics, he reached for a ball at first base, the runner ran into his arm, and he has not been the same since. After that injury, in his final 304 plate appearances, he batted .230 with a .283 on-base percentage, a .392 slug, which was a .675 OPS, a 4.9% walk rate, and a 16.8% strikeout rate. He had just a 93 weighted runs created plus during that span. From pre-injury Ty France to post-injury 2022 Ty France, his on-base plus slugging dropped 200 points. From this article by MLB.com, which came the following offseason, it states that on June 5th, which was before his injury, France's average exit velocity for the year sat at 94.3 miles an hour, which would have ranked him 4th in the majors at the end of the season if he sustained that rate. Instead, he finished at an average of 87.6 miles per hour, which was below league average. Ty then stated, "I started to manipulate my swing to try to avoid any pain." And the article states that this is a surefire way to hit the ball squarely less frequently. The article goes on to state that traditionally adept at hitting the heater, France added the element of breaking pitch destruction in 2022, even with the caveat of his suppressed second half numbers. 11 of his 20 home runs came against sliders or curveballs, as he would have a .510 slugging percentage, a jump of nearly 100 points versus breaking balls from the previous year. He did serious damage specifically against sliders, ranking tied for 12th in the majors with 9 run value added. The names right in front of him are pretty recognizable: Mike Trout, Paul Goldschmidt, and Kyle Tucker. Heading into the 2023 season, Ty then said that he worked a lot this offseason at the feel of trying to get my old swing back, the first half swing, getting away from trying to manipulate the barrel. Well, unfortunately for Ty and for the Mariners, this didn't really pan out as he expected, as in 2023, he had his worst year of his career so far in the major leagues, as in 158 games played, over 665 plate appearances, he would hit just .250 with a .337 on-base percentage, a .366 slug, which was a .703 OPS, and a .99 OPS plus, which means essentially his value at the plate was just below league average. In an interview with Adam Jude late in September 2023, Ty France confirmed that things just haven't been the same since that collision in Oakland. He said, "I just haven't really been able to find my swing since the All-Star break last year. I've been trying to find it, but it just hasn't been able to happen. Last year, trying to play through what I did, it kind of just threw me off mechanically, and it takes a while to fix bad habits. I'm not saying it should take this long, but I've been trying to figure out what's going on and compensate. It just hasn't been there. We heard from JP that he would be bringing Ty France to Driveline after the season ended, and when Driveline Baseball posted Ty France's assessment yesterday, I put out this tweet today stating some facts and then also some opinion. Objectively, looking at Ty France's career numbers, there is one year that is an outlier, one year that stands out from the rest by far, and that is 2023. Sure, factually, from 2020 to 2021, then to 2022, his stats have been trending downwards, but again, nothing really dropped off until 2023. His OPS plus going from 2020 to 2022, dropping from 133 to 125, is just a 6% drop. It's not meaningful. His batting average dropping from 305 to 274 was an 11% decrease, but then going from 2022 to 2023, his OPS plus dropped from 125 to 99, which is a decline of 26%. His batting average dropped another 11%, and what really hurt him was that his slug dropped from 436 to 366, which was a decline year over year of 19%. So essentially, his batting average was going down and his power wasn't compensating for that decline in average. I then go on to state that with 2023 being the outlier, a Ty France resurgence in 2024 would have the same type of impact as signing a solid free agent hitter, and in my opinion is likely to happen based on his playing history. He has proven in the past that he is too good of a pure hitter to just fall off a cliff with production like this. He is due for a bounce back, and Driveline very well should help. So what are they working on? Well, as I mentioned earlier, in 2022, even though Ty France had a down year, he crushed the curveball. In 2023, he still hit the curveball well. However, he heavily regressed on hitting the slider and hitting the four-seam fastball and the sinker. His run value on the slider decreased from +8 to -7, on the sinker from -2 to -5, and on the four-seam fastball from +7 to -2. His batting average on four-seam fastballs went from 310 to 204, on the slider went from 279 to 192, and in 2023 his fly ball and pop-up rates were higher, he was pulling the ball much more, and he wasn't hitting the ball to the opposite field. As you can see here, he was also under the ball quite a bit. And in this article from Luke Arkins, which I'll link in the description below, he points out that before the injury compared to the year and a half after the injury, he produced more fly balls, but they were not traveling as far. On average, they were traveling 8 feet less than before the injury. And on hard hit fly balls, which are balls that are hit 95 miles an hour plus, when they were in the air, they were traveling 15 feet less. So from all these different factors, including what he said, clearly his swing timing is off. His mechanics are slightly off. He's got a lot of movement in his swing before the pitch and during the swing, which is not going to change. He's always been that way. But what can change is getting his timing back to being able to catch up to the fastball while being able to adjust to the slider. Don't sell out for power, play to your elite contact ability, and spread the ball out over the entirety of the field. Now, easier said than done, of course, but I'm the one making the videos, I'm not swinging the bat. This positive outlook of Ty France potentially having a rebound year in 2024 does not change the fact that the Mariners still have to go out and add at least 2 impact bats to their lineup to be a real contender. However, if you're able to have JP Crawford at the leadoff spot with anywhere close to 2023 production numbers, if you have Julio Rodriguez in the number 2 spot playing up to his potential, if you have Ty France with a rebound year in 2024, he doesn't need to be a power hitter. He doesn't need to hit 25 plus home runs. If he just makes solid contact with the ball like he can, he's a true bat-to-ball guy, hit the line drives into the gaps, you're going to be scoring JP and Julio more than you think. He plays solid first base. That's really all you need. And for those of you saying to get rid of Ty France, he's under contract through the 2025 season, and right now with his production from last year, you'd be selling him for pennies on the dollar. That would just not make much sense. But we'll see what happens the rest of this offseason. If you haven't already seen the Ty France player profile, I'll link that right here. This goes through his entire background of how he got to this point. Agree? Disagree? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're not already following the channel, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.